Sarah, let's start going.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for joining the AMA session for the CloneX Revival project. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with today Nyankone. So he's the guy who's been leading and speaking to the community members over the past month. Yeah, so it's been about 1 month exactly since we started the CloneX Revival Discord and the X account. So thought it was time for us to connect with the community members. So yeah, thanks again for joining today, and we want to touch on parts like why the CloneX Revival project started, what are we trying to do, and at the end we want to end with a Q&A session to answer any questions from you guys directly. Yeah, we also have a special guest today, so if you guys could stick around to the end, that'll be great. Yeah, I want to introduce Nyankone, the man behind the scene. He's a Japanese entrepreneur. He's known in the Web3 space with his project called Singularity Zero Universe. You can check out the website on s0u.io. So that's his Web3 project. Also, he has things like a leading hip hop artist label that's active in Asia. Yeah, so a little bit of background for you guys there. So hope that gives you guys some context on who's behind the scenes with the CloneX Revival. And again, my name's Tyler, and I've been working with Nyankone for the past 3 years on his Web3 project. Yeah, and yeah, we're actually coming from a point where we have a reasonable sized community with over like 100 members. They're all working on blockchain development, like NFTs. We have marketers, artists, moderators, etc. So yeah, we're looking to bring the entire team to take on the possible next phase of the CloneX Revival. And yeah, Nyankone is the he's leading the team basically. Yeah. So I want to get into why we started CloneX Revival. So first thing, we're definitely huge fans of CloneX. Like I believe everybody listening here, and yeah, it's definitely one of the few projects that really succeeded. Combined fashion, Web3, and art like no other project, right? So we're pretty sad that the project was no longer active at the beginning of the year, but yeah, we kind of saw there's huge potential in recreating the new community and kind of bringing some news to the Web3 world, right? So like CloneX, run by Nike, they basically just gave up, and yeah, it's one of the few stories that kind of happened that way is CloneX, right? So we just kind of imagine if we can really bring this back, that alone would be a pretty huge statement for the Web3 industry. Yeah, secondly, CloneX, we believe that still has so much potential. Not just about the art, but like, it's kind of really about how many people still like genuinely interested in, really love the project, right? Yeah, and then also we see a lot of, super talented people like artists, content creators and things like that. So, if we get active once again, show some energy, and we believe that everybody's motivation could come back to the project, right? Get everybody on board, and we can possibly create something much bigger than what we've seen so far, right? And yeah, I mean, the whole community-led revival concept could really mean something, and not just a company like Nike making the top decisions for the just making decisions where the project should go next, right? Yeah, so in general, if we can pull this off, it would be solid proof that a committee like this, like a decentralized committee, can actually work. Yeah, and then it could potentially be bigger than the whole phase one of CloneX project itself, right? So that's kind of a little bit of background and our passion and kind of reasoning for the whole CloneX Revival project. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, our third point, we wanted to kind of explain We've been getting a lot of comments about why we issued the token, like at the beginning of the CloneX Discord channel. So yeah, we just want to be straightforward. It was actually a bit of a strategy to get some feedback and even like criticism from the community. So that kind of worked out to be effective. So yeah, that's kind of how we approach the. So there isn't a huge meaning or sort of reason we issued the token, right? It's kind of a little bit yeah, how we approached it. So yeah, for those who supported us in the chats, and those who criticized us, we really want to thank everybody for that. Yeah, and we'll have further discussion on what the token should be used and how the community thinks about really launching a new token, right? Okay, and yeah, been kind of following the conversation on and questions about why we purchased the 226 clones right recently in the last month. So basically, we wanted to show the strength of our community, right, and kind of our commitment towards really the CloneX Revival situation. So yeah, by showing that, we thought CloneX Revival can possibly inspire the larger community and hopefully help everybody come together once again. Yeah, and our fifth point is some of the surface level key issues that we're kind of looking into right now is that we should create kind of an environment where like new creators or like existing creators feel motivated once again. There's so many like creators made videos, images, 3D content, and pretty awesome work. So we've been like actively sharing that on the X accounts. Yeah, yeah. Kind of the issue is that like all these content creators are kind of unnoticed at the moment. So it doesn't really reach the wider NFT market, and think that the creators are losing motivation. That's kind of one aspect. So we're kind of thinking it'd be nice to have a system where the entire community can help spread the word out for these artists, these content creators, so that these people can feel the positive feedback loop once again. And yeah, my second point is that making sure new users don't drop out. So like if you look at the existing CloneX Discord, the most active chats are the holders only channel, right? So yeah, that means like new users who join out of curiosity, like newcomers, don't really get to see the real conversation in the community. So yeah, definitely keep the holders only channel, but it'd be nice to have a way for new users to kind of participate in the main conversation of the CloneX community. Yeah, so those are just a couple of surface level things that I think we can prove within the existing community. Yeah. And I kind of want to get into some stats. Like, for example, right now there are about 9,200 holders at the moment, and 19,000, around 19,700 clones at the moment. So, like, why not grow this to at least 100,000 members? New people who'd be like genuinely interested in owning one of the clones, right? And we think this is quite possible with through our connections, through the art connections, even like music, like hip hop, all that, right? So to that we want to add like music, art, fashion into the CloneX community once again. Like the culture's always been about street culture and Web3 culture, right, all the way. So like launching new products in these areas, we can reach audiences who've never heard of CloneX before. So yeah, like many ways to approach a wider audience, we think. So like the entry points could be streetwear, like good music, like real life art piece inspired by CloneX. Yeah, so if we build these things, we think that we can win over new fans and even develop applications specifically for CloneX holders. So kind of like two-sided plans. So exciting the current holders with new ecosystems and possible applications, and attract brand new fan base with culture driven products, right? Yeah, and yeah, our seventh point here is that yeah, so some of you might still get the impression that we're trying to revive CloneX kind of on the surface level, but we really want to take this to like a whole new level. And yeah, a couple things we think it would be like kind of going into the future, right? So something like building a dedicated own clone X blockchain and like a native NFT marketplace, like these kinds of things to kind of like have a complete unified brand identity, right? So that's something we think like as a community would be kind of an interesting play that goes fully like brand identity even from this point on, right? Yeah, my second point is that yeah, we're talking about tokens. So at the right time, yeah, it'd be nice to use the new tokens to support these wallets that suffered losses with the CloneX NFTs. Yeah, we can check on chain, who lost money, all that. So if we're able to do a proper token launch, we think the first airdrop should go to these people. Yeah, and if their motivation comes back, I think it really has a positive effect on the CloneX in itself, like moving forward. Yeah. So I mean, this part we're still discussing with the community, like on the Discord channels, and nothing's final yet. So, but we just wanted to touch on that part because we think it's important part of the conversation. Yeah, and then ultimately, we think the ecosystem can grow to where CloneX holders can, have incentives, gain benefits, right? So, I mean, that's just one part of the bigger vision. And yeah, lastly, I just wanted to point out there's some applications we're developing at the moment, which is called Chat RPG. This is something we had even before the CloneX Revival project. You can think like the good old multi-user dungeon meets AI meets Matrix.org, like federated communication protocol. Yeah, this is something we're kind of designing at the moment. So yeah, this is kind of all we think it ties into the CloneX ecosystem. So something that we could do something like we would create specific quests that could add reasons to participate and add incentives to the CloneX related conversations with the multi-user dungeon kind of concept. So yeah, those are some things that we're thinking and possibly add value to the CloneX ecosystem. Right. So just wanted to touch that on briefly, kind of what we're doing at the moment, and yeah, we're just kind of basically thinking about how can we add value to the CloneX ecosystem. And if we can even host a separate AMA for this new application, maybe in the future. All right, so that's everything from my end. I hope that it gave you guys some context behind the whole CloneX Revival project. And I want to pass it off over to Nyankone for his final comments, and then we'll move into the Q&A session and our special guest at the end. All right, so Nyankone, if you want to go ahead,
Okay,
comment
okay,
things
okay,
off.
okay. Thank you, Augustine. Oh, so thank you for coming today. I'm so again and Conan. You know what I really want? I want to bring back the fever we all felt in 2022 with CloneX. Yeah. We have seen the downside since then, but we know what didn't work. But because of that, because we went through it, we actually have what it takes to create the right kind of fever this time. And we are not just doing this for CoX, we are doing this for Web3 market, you know. Do I think CoX is a find a way it's right now? Honestly, no. Only a small group of people are here trying to keep it alive. But here's the scene. We can motivate the passion, not just a little. I'm taking 100 times. Oh, it will start creating every positive story, every angle, every new development together. We can make this stronger web3 community out there. Yeah. So let's do it together. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nyankone. Yeah, so yeah, that was our message, and we'd like to move to the Q&A session. If anybody you want to comment, speak up, let us know. We'll come. Yeah, any questions? Let us know. We'd like to connect with you guys.
Yeah, please request speaker. Okay, okay, thank you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it's totally fine. If you guys don't have any, okay. Do we have one person? Dorg.
Hey, yeah, how's it going? I have a quick
Good.
question.
Yeah, thanks for speaking up. Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome presentation. I'm really excited about the community takeover of the CloneX project. One of
Thanks.
the things that I'm wondering about, like, so for me, I found the project truthfully, like, probably about like 3 months ago. And one of the things that really just like took my imagination was the fact that they had all of this tooling for creators. Being able to actually get the assets for your NFT and then being able to then do things like take it into VR chat, like being able to make your own renders, at AITV, like we're looking to launch characters there. So that to me was like the biggest thing. What I'm wondering is like to the community, like to the OGs,
Mhm.
what is kind of like the biggest thing that draws you to the project, right? Because like from what I've seen, like there's a lot of FUD around like at everything that happened with Nike or whatever, but like from what I've seen, like there's still very like permissive licensing where it's like people can use these characters if they own them to do cool
Exactly.
things. So like yeah, I would just love to hear your take on like what really got you into it and what is the community most excited about.
Yeah, thanks for your comments. So yeah, I've been talking to Nyakone over the last month, and yeah, first off, we just really want to say that we're uh, you know huge fans of CloneX. We've been following the project since the very beginning, and so Nyakone is actually he's like well connected with the Japanese side. He's actually had work with Takashi Murakami in the past, and yeah, he's like really just well connected with from the arts, the art industry, like music, hip hop, and yeah, like just like as you mentioned right now, there's still like potential for the the clone holders IP, right? So there's a lot we can do with like creative stuff. So I think the motivation, my understanding is that through Nankon is really in the well connected with the music and the art industry, right? So I think it's really about like 10x 100x exposure that CloneX could potentially have from here. Yes, we have like developers, and we have the whole team, so that's that. But I really think it's like our passion and love for the CloneX ecosystem and the whole entire community, right? And at this point, I mean, we're only looking at like 9200 holders at the moment, so it's kind of like, I mean, there's only 20,000 clones, but there's a lot of things we can do, from this point on, right? So, yeah, Nyankone's vision is kind of like really loves this, CloneX street culture, Web3, like metaverse, all that's like super awesome. And then kind of like connecting that with, existing, hip hop culture our culture. So that's kind of the potential and like the exposure that we can possibly create. So yeah. So to answer your question, I think it's really like purely our interest in the CloneX community and what they've built so far is just like really awesome. So that's kind of the starting point. It's like it's too valuable for this project to like end right here. So I think that's our motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. And just one final thing that I want to add, and then feel free to kick me off the stage. Like I love the fact that with this project, the community can honestly like take it to wherever they want. Like the tools are at our disposal. So like for me, like when I see people like spreading FUD about the project, like I much prefer what you're doing at CloneX Revival, where it's focusing on bringing together creatives and developers to like make something of this awesome thing that's just kind of sitting there for people to use.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's a huge point there. I think the artifact and the team. I think they sort of had that vision from the very beginning. So I really think that it's like meant to be to like utilize all of this, I available IP, all this creative work, all this digital possibility, right? So yeah, exactly what you said there. I think it's kind of meant to be. I really believe that. Yeah, thanks for your comment. All right. Yeah. Anybody else? Please comment. Okay. If not, Nyankone, should we move to the special guest?
Yeah. Okay. If no have question, uh, please input.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for just tuning in, and we really wanted to get the message out there. So yeah, really appreciate you guys tuning in today, taking your time. So we'd like to just give me a second here. Yeah, we'd like to introduce our guest today. He's a Japanese rapper. So he wanted to drop some uh, yeah rap today for us. So yeah, please go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Fear of Influence. I'm from Japan. Been making music for like 25 years. Um, I got to know Nyankone and we got to work on some CloneX stuff. So I was gonna do a little rap for you guys if you guys don't mind.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm gonna put on some music. Hopefully you can hear it, and I'll just rap over it. So hope you hope you like it. It all started when I forged my Nike Dunk Challenger. OG low, gray and blue, collar taker. First NFT, RTF, KC. Got an angel DNA with the stud GLD. So I got it in my wallet, shoes in my closet. Even after Nike dropped the whole entire box. It's about to revolve, return and roll up. It's all music, cash, and true value. CloneX. CloneX. New mod connect. Passion me start. True value. CloneX. CloneX, new mob connect, catching me start, true value set, CloneX. So that was how I got into CloneX and RTFKT. Been a holder for a while, so I just wanted to give you an introduction of how I got into CloneX and RTFKT. And I'm having Nyankone's team, AI team, make a short video with my angel clone and stuff like that. So you guys probably can check it out in like a month or so. All right. Thanks for listening, and I'll give it back to Tyler
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Nyankone.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Spear.
No problem.
Nice bars. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay. So
Cheers.
Nyankone, yeah, let's call it the session for the day.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Taylor.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're really happy to speak to you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the Discord channels. Positive feedback, negative criticism, whatever. Just we're happy to connect. So yeah, talk to you guys soon on the channels. Thanks for tuning in.